Good morning. It's good to be with you all this morning. It's good for us to be together. Whether you are here or in person, today is a good day to be together. As we gather this morning, I'd like to share with you words from Tanya E. Marquez. Our lives intersect and intertwine. Vines cross and intertwine themselves on a tree trunk. It is a wonder and a mystery that our paths have crossed. That in the immensity of time, in the vastness of space, we coincide here. I am in awe at the ways in which our lives intersect and intertwine, at the beauty we create when we gather. May our coming together make us more compassionate, more just, more caring, and more loving. May our hearts and minds be open to this offering. I am so glad you are here. Let us worship. Let us marvel at the miracle of being here right now and the mystery that has brought us together. Come, my friends, with our hearts open to all that inspires, sustains, redeems, and transforms us. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. Our first piece of special music involves some congregational participation. I cannot clap yet, so you are going to have to clap for me. So you're going to hear, "Open the window, children," and on the word children, you're going to clap, "Open the window." So let's try that together. Ready? And open the window. Exactly. Let's do it one more time. Make sure it wasn't an accident. Ready? And open the window. Excellent. And in the middle, you'll hear, "Open the window, let the dove fly in." Let's sing that together. Ready? Open the window, let the dove fly in. So you could get to join in on those two parts. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Mama and Papa are fighting like snakes. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Babies are crying like a heart will break. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Neighbors lock their doors, build fences so high. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Don't say what's to discover on the other side. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the doves fly in. Open the window, let the doves fly in.
Borders round countries, borders round the sky. Open the window, let the dove fly in. The only border close to is the border around your mind. Open the window, let the dove fly in.
Open the window, children. Open the window now. Open the window, children. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Open the window, let the dove fly in. Some people have money, some people have none. Open the window, let the dove fly in. What's the use of money if your heart
No. We're here for the opening hymn.
Okay, thank you. Ooh, good morning, everyone. Let me find my place. Oh. The flaming chalice is the symbol of the Unitarian Universalist tradition, the liberal tradition to which this congregation belongs. Will those of you here in person please stand as you are able for our chalice lighting? If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to light it with us at this time. Please recite with me. As we kindle this flame, we recommit ourselves to nurturing the spirits of one another and the common good of the world we share. May the light of this flame who seek a liberal religious home. For those of you already standing, I invite you to remain standing for our opening hymn. Our opening hymn is number 311, Let It Be a Dance.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. May the music say the words and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the beat. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with no wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, behold, must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Good morning again. My name is Warren Keys, and I'm glad to serve as part of your worship team this morning, as well as being part of your UUFR Board of Directors. Whether you're a first-time visitor, a long-time member, or somewhere in between, I offer you a special welcome. Here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh, we are intentionally inclusive, liberally religious, and actively serving the common good of our shared world. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your own religious journey, you are certainly welcome here. This morning, Eleanor Goodwin, one of our lay ministers, will be available on the front right corner of the sanctuary after the service to talk with anyone who might be experiencing any difficult circumstances in their lives and would like to talk to someone. Now, I hope all of you will read through the Chalice newsletter, which was emailed to you on Friday about everything happening here around UUFR, or you may just check our website under the section titled Upcoming Events. We have a special guest with us today. Caleb Graves, the UU The Vote organizer with the UU Justice Ministry of North Carolina, is visiting, and he would like to introduce himself this morning. Caleb Graves.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you all for the warm welcome I've already received this morning. My name is Caleb Graves, and I was just brought on permanently at UU Justice NC, moving from the UU The Vote organizer to the congregational organizer. So it is my honor to be able to travel to congregations all over the state and show what UU The Vote and UU Justice NC can be for part of your community. We have Friday Action Hour every Friday, where up to 100 has been our biggest one so far. Folks, UUs from around the state come together to make their voices heard and to take action to make our state a better place. Additionally, we're putting together trainings and resources that you can access for your congregation and for you individually to see how to live out your values better in this state. I'm going to be downstairs helping to get some people signed up for the Justice Action newsletter that folks here at the congregation have put together. And I also wanted to say, for everybody here who took part in UU The Vote last fall, thank you very, very much. You were one of the most mobilized congregations, one of the congregations I kept answering emails from, which is a good thing. And so I'm glad to see some of y'all in first person for the first time, or for many of y'all, see y'all again. So again, thank you for having me here, and I look forward to talking after with some of you.
Thank you very much, Caleb. And after this service, as Caleb mentioned, you can talk with him during our in-person social hour, which will be downstairs in Founders Hall. You may also talk to me about UUFR board topics or anything else about UUFR, or you can just say hi. And speaking of saying hi, I now invite you to say hi to your neighbors. Please meet and greet your neighbors.
I invite us to come back together now. Let's continue those conversations later after the service. All right, let's get back together. Now is the time in our service when we acknowledge some of the joys and sorrows of our community. We do this because we believe a joy shared is a joy made greater, and a sorrow shared is made easier to bear. Rachel DeWitt's mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and they will know more once a biopsy is performed. Let us keep Rachel and her family in our hearts. Roberta Irwin, sister-in-law of Rand Irwin, passed away this past Tuesday of cancer. May we remember the family in our hearts. Elle Penley shares concern for her friend Ducky, who had a stroke this past week. They are at home recovering, and we are hoping for Ducky's recovery. Linda Rogers' family shares that she is back at home several weeks after her back surgery. She is grateful for the food, music, and so much support provided by so many of us here in this UUFR community, and for the care of family and friends. Phone calls are most welcome. As we hold these shared joys and sorrows in our hearts, and reflect on the joys and sorrows, fears and hopes of our own lives, let's be together in stillness and in silence, opening ourselves to that spirit within us and amidst us, called by many names, but known to every human heart, that leads us to a fuller, deeper, richer experience of life. After the silence, we'll sing together hymn 352, Find a Stillness. But for now, let's be together in stillness and in silence.
Everything we do at UUFR is only possible because of the generous financial support so many of us provide. For those of you who have set up automated giving to UUFR or who send a check every month, I'd like to thank you now for your generosity. If you would like to make a contribution in person this morning, we invite you to bring it forward and place it in one of our offering plates. If you would prefer to have an usher come to you, please raise your hand. You may also give using one of the methods you'll find on the screen behind me. Our offering will now be given and gratefully received.
I just want to make an announcement about the speaker that is staticky. We know about it. It's something that we are unable to fix at this time, so we ask your patience. And also, it is a little less prominent on this side of the sanctuary. So my apologies. Thank you.
This morning's reading is called Jigsaw Puzzle by Sunrise. Missing, just like a missing piece of a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle, as if you missed something in life, as if you're not complete, as if you feel a hole in your life. This missing piece makes you hurt. The pain inside you, no one can fill the gap of this missing piece. A piece of a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle. You cannot find it, you cannot touch it. It is out of your reach. But what you can do is not focusing on that missing piece, but focus on the rest of the puzzle, the jigsaw puzzle. There you'll find the whole picture of who you are, of who you became, or of who you become, of whom you belong. You belong to others. You exist for others. You are worthy to others, even without that missing piece of a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle, even if you feel it missing.
AV, are we good? I guess we're good. Love, would you guide my feet? Love, would you light my path? Love, lead the way. Love, will you fill my needs? Love, will you do the math? Love, lead the way. Lead the way. Lead the way. Lead the way. And I will walk with trust today. With trust today. And all I do. And all I do. And all I say. And all I say. I will follow. I will follow. Love, lead the way. When I don't know what I'm doing, when nothing feels okay, love, lead the way. When everything feels broken, when I'm holding fear at bay, love, lead the way. 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 I will follow. I will follow. With trust today. With trust today. And all I do. And all I do. And all I say. And all I say. I will follow. I will follow. Love, lead the way.
Thank you so much, musicians. Let's give them some more love. Today, I am preaching about the unlikely topic of jigsaw puzzles. Some of you may think to yourselves, how can jigsaw puzzles be a spiritual topic? What will she preach about next? Scrabble? Gin rummy? Cornhole? Jigsaw puzzles may not seem to be that spiritual on the surface, but I can tell you, after dumping 1,000 pieces of a puzzle onto the table, I often feel a little overwhelmed. I ask myself, how am I possibly going to put this thing together? Where do I even start? And yet, time after time, the puzzle miraculously comes together. That seems pretty spiritual to me. When starting a new puzzle, I stare at the pile of pieces, take a breath, move through that temporary paralysis, and then start somewhere. Of course, I do have a puzzle starting protocol. First, I separate the edge pieces from the middle pieces and set aside the corner pieces. The middle pieces go back into the box, and I build the border. In the process of building the border or sorting the pieces, a color or pattern often just draws my attention. So I'll pull out all the pieces I can find of that color or pattern, put them all on the table, and then build as much as I can of those pieces. Then shift to another color or pattern when I get stuck or bored. And piece by piece, chunk by chunk, the puzzle comes together. My strategy is to use my starting protocol, pick what seems to be the most compelling place to start, and then when I get done with that or stuck, then I use a different approach and repeat until the puzzle is done. The process I use to build a jigsaw puzzle is very similar to the process I use for many tasks and challenges in my life. Now, the stakes for failing to put together a jigsaw puzzle are quite a bit lower than other tasks and challenges in my life. If I don't manage to get a jigsaw puzzle together, I can just take it apart, put it back in the box, and try again another day, or put it into the forgotten place in the closet. But perhaps because the stakes are lower, it's easier for me to see how building a jigsaw puzzle can be a useful metaphor to describe how I might solve other more important puzzles in my life. I do my best to find a framework I do my best to build a framework to start a task or face a challenge, use that framework until it no longer works, then try something new and repeat as necessary. In jigsaw puzzles, as in life, the way we approach a problem initially doesn't work the way we want it to. When we give ourselves the space to reconsider the problem, to think of other options, choose one and try that new approach, that can be the difference that leads us to a solution. When we succeed, we may not get that satisfying click, as if we found the right place for a puzzle piece, but that satisfaction can be sweet all the same. I once had a puzzle I gave up on. It was a 1,000-piece puzzle that formed a stylized image of a group of skyscrapers. The image showed no ground and very little sky. The colors were white and black and shades of gray with a little bit of red. The buildings were different heights, and the face of each skyscraper was filled with long panels of windows. I worked on this puzzle for days and weeks until I finally ran out of patience, took it apart, boxed it up, and gave it away. Since then, a friend of mine has shared how she builds challenging puzzles. I mean, like the ones with pieces all the same color and huge puzzles. Most recently, she put together a puzzle with 20,000 pieces. She has devised elaborate ways of dividing a puzzle into sections and sorting the pieces, then methodically works on each section, trying each connection piece by piece. One of the great joys of human interaction is that we have the opportunity to learn from the experiences of others. When my friend told me about how she put this huge puzzle together, I learned about her great patience, her methodical mind, and how she uses these qualities and enjoys using these qualities through putting puzzles together. Perhaps if I still had the skyscraper puzzle around, I could use some of her techniques and build it to completion. The point is, we don't all solve the same puzzles the same way. We each have qualities, both those that help and those that hinder the solving of any particular problem. When we share our experiences of problem solving or lack of problem solving with others, this helps us each build a toolkit we can use for the challenges we may face in the future. And we find people who we can ask for help when we face these challenges. You can probably tell that I enjoy making jigsaw puzzles. At times, it feels like a meditative process. At other times, I just enjoy the ability to do something with my hands while listening to podcasts or music. And I admit that sometimes making puzzles can be a little all-consuming, like when I lose track of time and realize that my neck and back are aching because I've been punched over too long. For a while, I got territorial about my puzzles, as if a completed puzzle didn't count if anyone but me put any piece in that puzzle. Luckily, my wise sister reminded me of the joy of putting a puzzle together with someone else. Sometimes the best connections can be made when we're occupied with some other common task. So for those of you that don't like making puzzles, perhaps you like to wash dishes with someone else, or cook with someone else, singing in a choir, collecting food for the food pantry. There are lots of different common tasks like these that we do here at UU Fellowship of Raleigh. When people work together on common tasks, we all bring different qualities to the task at hand. I'm not very good with three-dimensional shapes, which is why I found that skyscraper puzzle so hard. But I'm good at recognizing patterns and colors. My sister, she's better at recognizing shapes. Our abilities complement each other. I think about all the different people and different qualities and skills and interests that came together just to make this very service happen today. The staff, the musicians, the teens on tech, our worship associates, our board members, our lay minister, the ushers, the welcomers, the baristas, the folks who created the order of service and the slides we see on the screen, the folks that brought the flowers, the folks who take care of the offering, the person who wrote the sign outside of Founders Hall with all of the activities and the places that they all take place, the wonderful people with many different tasks who support our children in their spiritual growth while this service is going on. There are so many people and so many tasks relating to keeping the building and the grounds beautiful and welcoming and functioning, and to keep the congregation running. And all of the people and all of the tasks that happened in the past that allowed us to be here today. And all of you who woke up this morning, got yourself together, got here to find solace, inspiration, connection, to fill your spiritual cups so that you will find the strength to do those tasks that feel good and meaningful to you. It truly takes a village to create this huge jigsaw puzzle that is the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh. James P. Carse wrote a book called Finite and Infinite Games. In this book, he writes of the elements to what he calls finite games. Finite games have set rules and set players. Finite games have a specific endpoint and a specific condition that identifies the winners and the losers. Take college basketball, for instance. There are two teams, each with 5 players on the court at any given time. Each of these 5 players can be switched out with other members of the respective teams. The players score points each time the ball successfully goes through the hoop. After a prescribed period of time, the team with the highest number of baskets wins. And if both teams have the same score at the end of the allotted time, then there are protocols to make sure that there is only one winner and only one loser. Because there is always a winner and always a loser. The goal of a finite game is to win. For infinite games, on the other hand, the goal is to keep the game going. There are no winners. There are no losers. There are just players. The players can shift over time. The rules can shift over time. Whoever is playing at the time sets the rules of play to maximize the opportunity for others to play. I see the work of this congregation as an infinite game. There's nothing wrong with finite games. They're fun. They can be an opportunity to hone one's skills and work towards great achievement and recognition. The problem, as I see it, is when what should be more of an infinite game becomes a finite game. Take politics, for example. We have a political system that seems more intent on winning than allowing the many to play in the high-stakes game of life that affects us all. Over the weekend, I had the great privilege of being in Wilmington to help celebrate the installation of a fellow seminarian, the Reverend Alyssa Lee, at the UU congregation of Wilmington, North Carolina. While I was there, I learned that the Proud Boys are headquartered in Wilmington. Part of the infinite game that the Wilmington congregation has designed is to resist the efforts of the Proud Boys to change local policy. Nicole Presley, the organizing strategy director for UUA's Side with Love, was there, along with the Reverend Lisa Garcia Sampson, the executive director of UU Justice North Carolina. Both of these incredible people are working towards building infinite games of resistance based on facing hatred with love, protecting democracy and our earth, and building a world where every person can thrive and be loved for the whole beautiful people that they are. Part of the strategy of both of these organizations is to create asset maps of UU and other faith-based communities. Asset maps are a way to quantify the resources offered by UU and other communities so that needs can be matched with resources that are available. Asset mapping will help us efficiently respond when and where action is needed. It's a blessing that Caleb Grave is here today. If you'd like to know more, I encourage you to get with him and hear the good news. So back to the jigsaw puzzle metaphor. When I build a puzzle, it's for entertainment. It's because I enjoy the process of building a puzzle. I pick puzzles with colorful patterns because that gives me joy and because I'm better at connecting colors and patterns. I decide to build a puzzle when I have some downtime to work on it. When I work on it, I sit down and work on it until I get stuck or until I get tired of it. Then I start again when I feel like working on it. There is no set schedule. Since I have a cat, I risk losing pieces when the puzzle is sitting out. But I'm okay with that risk. Completion is nice, but it's not necessary. There might be missing pieces, but it's the process of making the puzzle that is most enjoyable to me. And in life, there always seems to be at least one missing piece. I don't have to tell you that our collective jigsaw puzzle of life is looking pretty difficult these days. Way more difficult than a 20,000-piece puzzle. We all have our regular challenges in our lives, but on top of these challenges are the heartbreaking and frightening realities of climate change, war, and our current political climate. I feel overwhelmed a lot of the time. It's a lot. And yet, we as UUs know how to keep the infinite game going. We all have things we can do. We all have roles to play. We all have skills, resources, and interests to share. We just need to start somewhere and adjust our strategy as necessary. So I invite you to join me in a little exercise. I'm going to ask 3 questions and give you a couple minutes after each one to reflect on your answer to that question. If you want to, you can discuss your answer with someone next to you, but if you don't, that's totally okay. You can reflect to yourself. The first question is, what's something or some things you enjoy doing? What's something or some things you enjoy doing? And now that you have your answer, I would like you to say that answer to yourself 5 times, either out loud or to yourself. The second question is, what's one thing you can do this week that will make your world a better place? What's one thing you can do this week that will make your world a better place? And as you're answering this question, I encourage you to be gentle with yourself. Part of acting is knowing when it's better for you to not act, to rest. Deciding to rest is totally okay. The question again is, what's one thing you can do this week that will make your world a better place. And as you have the answer to your question, I invite you to say it to yourself 5 times, out loud or to yourself. The third question: who are you going to do this thing with? Who are you going to do this thing with? Again, I encourage you to be gentle with yourself. If the best thing you can do is rest or do something from the comfort of your own home, that's totally okay. Only you know what you need right now. Again, the question is, who are you going to do this thing with? And now that you have your answer, I encourage you to say it to yourself 5 times. However, you answered these questions. Whether you answered these questions, your being here today makes you a player in this congregation's infinite game. Our goal: to keep living our mission of building this Unitarian Universalist community that transforms lives and empowers people to serve the world. Our goal is to keep living this mission for as long as possible, with as many players as possible, with as much love as possible. Each of us has a role to play in that game, and we get to play this game with each other. We are each of us agents of love and change in whatever way we play our role. May it be so. And now I invite you to stand as you're in body or in spirit, as we sing together hymn 121, We'll Build a Land.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations of old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come, build the land, my people we seek. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Please be seated. Our closing words today come from Mario Lucien René Oderkirchen. Pieces scattered across the table, some edges sharp, others worn. Colors clash and blend, moments frozen in fragmented shapes. I search for connections, turning memories over in my hands. Some pieces fit easily, others wait for their time, their place unknown. The picture emerges slowly, not as I imagined, but as it was meant to be, each piece essential. As we end this time of worship together, may we do so with ever more love for one another, with ever more gratitude for this precious gift of life we share this very day, with ever more peace in our hearts, and with ever more hope for our own lives and this beautiful world we share. Amen.